You probably get this a lot. You're a very tall man.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
Here we go. Here we go. Yeah. I'm 6'6.5".
How often people ask you if you play basketball?
Oh, every day, man.
Like, what are you doing in medical school, bro? You should be playing power forward for the Celtics. If medical school had a warning label, what would it say?
If you're not studying, you're not succeeding, or something like that.
No breaks.
Like, why are you taking a break?
I like that. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Kingdom Minded Podcast. I'm your host, Iyare, and this is a podcast where we talk about higher education, exciting careers, family dynamics, and what it means to do that with a kingdom mindset following Jesus Christ. Today, we have a very special guest with us today. We have Deji Osidele. He is a 4th-year medical student, and he's going to be talking to us a little bit about what it means to be kingdom minded as a medical student. How you doing today, Deji?
Today, I'm doing good. I'm excited. Glad to be here. Glad to be talking about some things that I care a lot about, medical school and also my faith. So yeah, just excited to get started. Kind of see what you got.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. I was really excited that you agreed to come on here today. We're trying to, expand our scope of guests. And I think having a medical student is a great one to have, especially you yourself very much. I've known you for a long time and seen you growing up, and it's been, really a privilege getting to see where you've come today. And yeah, so I'm excited to learn a bit about your journey and what you got coming up next.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, excited to share.
Absolutely. And so medical school, you get a white coat, right? Is that right?
Yeah,
okay.
So we got a white coat like at the beginning.
Oh, I thought that was weird. Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's
white
weird.
Coat. It's like a pre-graduation or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's like we have a whole ceremony before we start medical school where they give us our white coats for the first time. We put it on. We say the Hippocratic Oath. It's kind of like swearing into like the practice of medicine and our promise of like serving the patients that we will see.
That's like militant. Do they make you like swear on a Bible or something? What do you swear on, like your textbook?
No. So they give us a little card. It's like the Hippocratic Oath.
Okay.
Different iterations of it have existed, but I think the one that we say, it's like not like a hand on a Bible or anything, but we kind of just have a statement that we say. We're basically promising that we're going to serve our patients and kind of make sure that we do no harm to them and do what's in their best interest. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're there to do, is care for patients. So they kind of just making it a statement at the beginning and making us making sure that's like what we remember as we kind of go through med school, and kind of just remember back to like that oath that we took to do no harm and care for the patients to the best that we can. So.
Okay. Wow. I didn't know y'all did that. And that's pretty cool, because that gives me a little bit more confidence going into my doctor's appointments, knowing that they made an oath to basically do what's right by me. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
It's always like a little reminder to, at the end of the day, just make sure you remember, you got to make sure you do what's best for them,
Yeah. Do they ever like pull up on y'all, like recite the Hippocratic Oath?
They never
so
done that to me.
One and done? Okay.
No, one and done. Just randomly in class, like, hey, y'all remember the oath? No, they don't do that to us.
They should. I'm going to go my next doctor's appointment. I'm going to go in there. Like, if you don't know the Hippocratic Oath off top, I'm ending this meeting right now. I'll go see somebody else. I'll probably won't see a doctor if that happens, because I can't expect them to know that. But okay, medical school. What was your journey to getting here? Like, what was your start in college? And like, at what point did you realize that this was going to be like a route for you?
Yeah, so I actually knew I wanted to go into the medical field before college. It was actually like when I was in elementary school even.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I went to this like leadership camp in a different state. It was like a different city.
Oh, dang.
And they had like a health-based aspect of it. And I made like a rap about the digestive system.
Oh,
don't ask me to recite it right now. I don't remember it, but I made a rap about the digestive system.
That's what's
and I just saw like the joy of all like my parents, all the other parents, the other people at the camp, just like how this kid is like so excited about rapping about the digestive system.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of like the joy that exists in medicine. So kind of from there is where I started like diving in like 100% into medicine. So
wow. Okay.
I went to a like a health-based high school.
Okay, like a magnet school
Like a
type.
magnet school.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So they focus on kind of guiding students into the medical field, whether it's like doctor, nurse, like medical assistant, things like that. But
Wow.
yeah, I
Okay.
knew I wanted to be a doctor at that point. So I was like taking all these classes about medical terminology, anatomy, different experiences, kind of guiding me into that field. So yeah, it started from an early age. And then from there, I went to undergrad for 4 years, did a lot of like prerequisite classes, all the like required things that we have to do for applying for med school, and then shadowing, volunteering in the medical field, really
Nice.
just solidifying like, oh, this is what I want to do.
Okay.
So from there, I actually took some years between undergrad and starting medical school. I took 2 years to kind of work on my application, take my MCAT exam, which is like the exam that you need to take before starting med school to like apply. You have to take like this standardized test that tests you on.
Is that different from the MCAT?
That's the MCAT. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you said the MCAT.
The
Okay.
MCAT, yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So that test is like what you need to apply to medical school.
Okay.
So I took that, did some work, like did some research, got some more experiences, and yeah, just applied to med school and started 2 years after undergrad.
Okay.
So yeah, and that's kind of how where I'm going right now.
Okay. Nice. So it's safe to say that within like your family and your friends and community, they kind of expected this from a young age because you said you wanted to be a doctor and you saw it through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they saw like my passion for it, and they really kind of said, okay, like if you want this, make sure you work hard. Like we'll be here to support you. But at the end of the day, it's like all like I wanted this, so they kind of saw that and helped me along my journey, which has been good so far.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. You made it out the stereotypical Nigerian where they say you got to be a doctor, lawyer, or engineer.
Doctor, lawyer.
You got
the big three.
Yep. Hey, shouts to you. You made your parents proud. And that's
It's
awesome.
a lot. It's a lot of pressure. It's not easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end of the day, it's what I wanted. So
that's awesome.
They helped me with it.
So one thing I want to touch on today that is, you probably get this a lot. You're a very tall man.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
Here we go. Here we go. Yeah. I'm 6'6.5".
6'6.5". Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like without shoes?
Yeah, without shoes.
Okay.
So with shoes, it's like another
You're
inch
like
or two.
6'8".
6'8".
6'8". Okay, 6'9". Yeah. Let's do 6'9", doctor. How often people ask you if you play basketball?
Oh, every day, man. I can't go a second, or I can't go a day without being asked at least once.
Okay, I didn't think it'd be that often. I knew it'd be often, but I didn't think it'd be that often.
No, it's every time. And it's a lot more like in medical school because people don't see like a tall person all the time, like walking around the hospital. So they'll just be like, whoa, like, how tall are you?
Yeah.
And it's like, I tell them, and then like, hey, do you play basketball? Like, that's the go-to is like, do you play basketball?
Yeah.
You should be in the NBA. Like, they have all these, how's the weather up there? The standard.
Yeah.
Standard jokes.
Man, like, what are you doing in medical school, bro? You should be playing power forward for the Celtics or something.
For real.
Nah.
I have to come up with new responses to make.
That's
because
true.
I keep saying the same things. Like, I just come up with new things to say.
And you know what? Like, bit of prophecy for you. You're going to get that the rest of your life, especially as a doctor. And you're going to get real good at making some creative responses. So I look forward to hearing what you got to say.
Yeah. I got a few. Sometimes I'll just tell people I'm like 5'8". So they're like, hey, I'm 5'7". And then they're like, nah, you're kidding.
5'6", 5'7". Yeah. Man, that's crazy. Okay. So a lot of people want to get accepted into medical school, but very few actually do get in. So like, what is one of like the hardest parts of medical school that isn't maybe necessarily talked about from like a standard like cliche point? Like obviously maybe tests are hard or the hours can be kind of hard, but like, is there a part of medical school that is particularly hard that just isn't as mainstream?
Well, one of the main things is just that's kind of a shock. Most people will tell you this, but you won't really know how bad it is until you get there. Just the amount of information that we have to learn is like really, it's astronomical. Like the amount of info we have to know. And it's from day one. Like they don't start you off with like okay, we're going to ease you into things. No, like day
week.
one, no syllabus
No
week.
syllabus week in med school.
Syllabus is online. You start day one.
That's
and
tough.
People always say it's like drinking water out of a fire hose.
Okay.
And I feel like that analogy pretty much is pretty accurate because from day one, like I was a biochemistry major, right?
Mm.
So first week of medical school for me, we basically covered my entire degree in the first week of medical school. So like biochemistry course that you take over like 16 weeks, we went over in the very first week. So just the condensed amount of time plus the amount of information you have to learn is just something you don't really expect until you get there. And a lot of people tell you like, oh, it's a lot. You have to study a lot, but you won't really know how bad it is or how much it is until you start.
Got you. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I could, that no syllabus week still got me tied up on that. I'm like, man, you don't even get to like ease into.
No easing in. It's like a syllabus 15 minutes maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, congrats, y'all made it. Now let's talk about all your majors in like a 30-second firestorm. Okay.
Exactly.
Nice. So in medical school, obviously you're surrounded by, some of the smartest people in the country, right? Sometimes even the smartest people in the world, based on what settings you're in. Have you ever struggled with imposter syndrome in those situations or sort of wondered if you've belonged?
Yeah, sometimes I definitely my first year of med school, I did have those thoughts a lot. Like, wow, like going from undergrad where, I was excelling, doing really well. And then starting medical school where I'm surrounded by people who are all like in that same boat. Like they've all done really well.
Yeah.
Now we're kind of like a reset almost. So just seeing how other people navigate that path was definitely interesting to see and learn from them. Cause I think at the end of the day, it's not as much of like a competition. It's more like a collaboration because you're in this space with so many like smart people, like high achieving people. And it's just, you're able to learn from them. Like you can collaborate, kind of see how they study, see how they approach certain problems and kind of take what you need and kind of add it to your own like tool basket essentially. So I think that mindset helped me get over like some of the feelings of, oh, I don't belong here. Maybe I'm not like cut out for this. Definitely helped me like ground me and like realize that, okay, like I belong here. This is my space as well, just like everyone else. Yeah. So yeah, just kind of changing that mindset helped guide me through those times a lot.
Okay. So what would you tell someone who, whether they're in like their PhD, med school, dental school, any sort of higher education, if they're struggling with imposter syndrome or feeling like they don't belong, what's like a concrete piece of advice that you would give them?
Yeah. So I'll give two things. Okay. So first thing I would say is you have to believe in yourself because no one else is going to believe in yourself more than you are. Right. So if you believe that you can, succeed, you believe that you can get through this degree, become a doctor, then you'll take all the steps that you need to take to get that done. Right. You'll reach out to resources that you might need, people that you might meet, kind of asking for advice, get those things that you need to make sure that you can achieve it. Because no one else is going to believe in yourself other than you. And you got to start there. And that's kind of the first step. Second thing I would say is knowing that you're worth more than like a grade you might see. Because I think a lot of the times in these high achieving spaces, we tend to like attach ourselves pretty strongly to like grades that we get because that's kind of where I know for me, like I would put a lot of worth into like the grades that I would achieve because I knew if I didn't get that A, like I'd come home and my parents would kind of tell me off like, you got a B, why not today? Like you got a 95%, why not 100%? There's a lot of like high like expectations. So that kind of mindset gets drilled into you early on. And in these spaces where things are so challenging, it can be easy to like cling to that. But it's so important to kind of detach from those ways of thinking because if you stay close to that mindset, it's easy to kind of slip and kind of just spiral down sometimes. Um, yeah, so I think just making sure that you don't like focus so much on those grades. Definitely focus on the grades, right? That's not, I'm not saying like don't, I'm not saying don't work hard. I'm not saying like don't shoot for the moon, shoot for those high grades. Definitely do. But being comfortable with the challenge and being comfortable with if you don't get a certain score on a test, like not making it the end of the world, right? Because it isn't. Like you'll always bounce back. You'll always kind of turn things around and achieve it the next time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, to your first point that you made there, one thing that sticks out to me that's been also sort of prevalent in my life recently is just a saying of like, closed mouths don't get fed, right? If you're struggling with something or you feel a certain way, you don't have enough information that's setting you back, like talk to somebody about it. Like you have faculty, you have classmates, like this doesn't need to be a race that you run by yourself, and you should be able to have a system of, either resources or people that you can rely on to help you get back on track.
Yeah.
And if you don't speak up, then you might just end up falling in that hole. And I'm sure that might be, something that puts people in the hole. Like I'm sure you've heard of people who end up, flunking out of medical school, or, maybe they got held back and they're in your class now. Like you never know what might have, caused that. But a lot of times, sometimes the root cause is just not having, a system that you're willing to tap into. And so I think that's a good piece of advice as well. It's like, so building that system and then tapping into it once you do have that set up.
Exactly. Yeah. And tap in early. Okay. Don't wait until you're spiraling to reach out.
Tap in.
Make those connections day one if you can. Sometimes day one, like reach out to those faculty, start making those connections with people, tutoring. There's always, help if you need it. And you don't want to wait until it's too late to reach out.
Yeah. So we spoke, and one of the reasons why we couldn't do this earlier is because you said you were in your surgery rotation, right?
That's
and
right.
I'm sure that sounds like a big one, right? Surgery is a big deal.
Surgery was a very big deal.
Yeah, and I know we say surgery rotation, and a lot of people probably think it's like Grey's Anatomy or The Resident or whatever your favorite medical show is. How true is that? Have you ever seen these shows? And like,
I've watched The Resident, yeah. And I've seen clips of Grey's Anatomy. It's very dramatized. They really up the drama on those shows. Real medicine is not that exciting 100% of the time. It's not that much.
Those shows scare me, bro, because it's like, it just makes you think, bro, at any moment I could just, I don't know, my right hand could explode because this guy on the TV, or like, I hate when everything's cool. Like, oh yeah, they just came for a small procedure and they're on their way out. You come back to the next scene and it's like they're flatlining and run 3 cc's of this and that. And I'm just like, what happened, bro?
Yeah, like what is going on?
Yeah. So it's good. It's comforting to hear that, I mean, I'm sure it happens, but like, it's comforting to hear that that's dramatized because
it definitely, I mean, those situations can happen, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, not all the time. Not all the time at all.
Yeah. I need to stop watching those shows.
They're exciting. They're fun. I love The Resident.
That was a good one. That was a good one. So your first day in the operating room, what was that like?
Yeah. It was a little scary. Yeah, because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like that's the one place where I didn't know a lot about. Like I've never really been in the OR too much. I've seen like surgeons, of course, but never really been the person in the operating room. So first day, there's like a culture that goes into like the operating room, and kind of learning the culture can be difficult sometimes. But yeah, I was a little bit nervous. I was like walking in as the medical student, introducing myself to the team. Sometimes people will respond, sometimes they don't. And yeah, like kind of just watching the operations was exciting. I had a lot of great experiences with some of the attendings and the other doctors and team members. But yeah, it was a pretty big shock. It was a pretty big.
So in your surgery rotation, when you were leaving that, is there any one lesson that surgery might have taught you about life?
That's a good question. I think one thing that I learned is I think, yeah, that's a good question. I think one thing I learned from my surgery rotation is kind of building up the skill of like quick decision making. I feel like that's really important in medicine. And the surgeons that I saw were really good at being very quick with their decision making. Because there were some procedures where you couldn't plan out what you would do until you were in the operating room. Yeah. So like you open the patient up, you see what the situation is, and then that's where you make your plan. So they were really good at kind of those quick decisions. And if something goes wrong, they knew what to do next. Like there were no pauses almost. So having that skill, I think, is important, especially like going into medicine, because you want to make sure that you can do that and also do it under pressure and still be calm and make sure you're making a good decision that's best for the patient. So I think that's one thing that I kind of learned from surgery, or at least observed, and I can put it into effect once I work on it. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. We're going to get into some rapid fire questions here.
All
so
right.
just
rapid fire.
First thing that comes to mind.
Let's go.
So what is the least amount of sleep you've gotten this year?
I want to say like maybe 4 hours, 3 hours.
Okay. That's pretty good.
No all-nighters. No, I need sleep. I need my sleep.
Favorite medical TV show?
The Resident. Yeah.
The
Resident. Actually, The Pit. The Pit kind of took over. Yeah.
Okay. What is the funniest stereotype for any of the medical specialties?
The ortho bros. It's so funny. A lot of them, it's like they're working out, like they're in the gym 24/7. I feel like that stereotype, it's super important, but I think that's one of the funnier stereotypes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before I do what I do now, I wanted to be a radiologist.
Oh yeah.
And I would hear that one of the stereotypes is them, and they're just like the introverts who like sit in a dark room, like people who don't want to talk to anybody. That's like is that true?
The dark room is true. They just sit in there. They have their music playing in the background, reading images. It looks very chill when you walk in that room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Are they typically introverted like that?
Not all of them. Not all of them. No. Yeah, but it just depends. But it's a funny stereotype because it's like you see that they're just to themselves almost. But I think pathology also is almost like that. Yeah, I've heard that stereotype.
Hardest anatomy topic?
Oh, the head and neck, I think, was very hard for me. Yeah, so many vessels, so many tiny things to remember. Like it was crazy.
Okay. Most embarrassing med school moment so far?
Oh, for me, man, that's a tough one.
Hey, if you haven't had any, you're just rocking through it. That's cool too,
I definitely
man.
have. I definitely. Oh, there was one time when I was on my emergency med rotation, and it was towards the end of my shift. I was in the pediatric ED, and there was a procedure going on for one of the patients. They had the lights off because they had like the lamp over the bed. And I was just feeling really tired that day. So I kind of closed my eyes while I was standing up, and my attending and like supervisor, like both the two doctors, they saw me and they were like just laughing to themselves. I felt it was bad.
Fell asleep standing up.
I fell asleep and they saw me. I was like, what are they going to say?
Standing up's kind of crazy. But I feel like they probably laughed because they're like, we've been there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like we've done that before.
Yeah.
I hope that's what they're saying.
Yeah. What's that meme with James Franco? Like first time? Like that's what I imagine they're saying.
Right.
Okay. Last one. If medical school had a warning label, what would it say?
If you're not studying, you're not succeeding or something like that. I don't know. It's like a 24/7 thing. You can't take a break.
Round the clock studying?
Round the clock studying.
Okay.
No breaks.
No breaks.
Like, why are you taking a break?
That's a good one.
Are you standing up?
Medical school, no breaks.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Thanks for answering those questions on the fly.
Those were good questions.
Yeah. And so, medical school, higher education, anything that is hard and you try really hard to get to, can really become your identity. How do you sort of keep your identity in Christ while doing something that is so physically and mentally consuming.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's hard when like things don't go your way. Like I was talking about earlier, sometimes you might not do as well you want to do on a test, or sometimes you mess up on clinical rotations, and it's like, why did I do that? Like, why'd that happen? And it might like keep happening, and then you feel like, why is it keep happening? Like God, why are you still like punishing me almost? But that's kind of how it feels sometimes. Really, it's almost like a test, like a challenge, because you can't think of it as like a punishment.
Okay. So during your time in medical school, have there been any specific times where it's challenged your faith, or times where you feel like your faith has helped you survive it?
I feel like a lot of the days have been like almost every day is a challenge. Like every day brings a new challenge. Sometimes it's like an exam that I may not have studied for as well as I could have, and uh, or it's like I'm not doing as well as I could on like the clinical rotations. So definitely have been a lot of challenges during my time in med school, um, and just realizing how like these challenges are being made to kind of shape me and mold me into like a better doctor at the end of the day, has helped me kind of realize that these challenges, like even though it's difficult now, like I know at the end it's going to make me like a better doctor overall.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, faith is I'd always imagine that if I were a doctor or worked in the medical field, that I would probably like see things all the time that would have some sort of play on my faith, right? Because you're dealing with people they might have terminal illness, or they are just going through an obviously hard time, or maybe you see that they are not, following God. I feel like that's something that would touch me a lot in those situations.
Mhm.
And so it makes me wonder if there has ever been, any sort of patient encounters that sort of stuck with you through the lens of your faith, like seeing what someone is going through, maybe, or seeing how they react to something, or maybe even a family member, how they respond to it. Has there ever been a patient encounter that really sort of, I guess, heightened your awareness of your faith?
Yeah, I'm thinking of one example where I feel like God was working through me to help like the patient in like their moment.
Yeah.
I remember there was a patient who was about to go in for a procedure. Like that morning, they were kind of nervous. So I wanted to go and like make sure that I saw them before they went into that procedure. So I went the morning of, just said, hey, like, it's good to see you. I just wanted to come and say, like, see how you're doing, like, before your procedure. Are you nervous? Kind of like making sure that they're okay, um, right before the procedure. So then it was kind of quick. So they left for the procedure right after. And then afterwards, I checked on them again, and they were saying, like, seeing you that morning really just like solidified and like calmed me down and made me know that the procedure was going to go well. Um, so I think that moment really touched me, and it like made me realize like I can be used like for good in this environment.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think, being a physician, that's like one of the most important places where you can have someone of faith in those places, right? Because you're dealing with birth, you're dealing with life, you're dealing with situations where miracles essentially need to happen, right? And a lot of times they can be through you, through the skills and desires and the aptitude that God has given you. And so I believe, a Christian doctor is just like, and one who really is in the faith, staying kingdom minded, and really sort of putting that into their practice can really move mountains, because you're on the front lines essentially of what people consider most precious to them, which is their life.
Mm-hmm.
And so it makes me wonder, as a medical student and going into being a doctor soon, what does it truly mean to be a kingdom minded doctor?
I mean, like you were saying, I really think being a kingdom minded doctor would mean, using the gifts that God gave you, um, to help those in need, to spread his message, but also to kind of use those skills to do good and kind of care for the people who need to be cared for. Like as doctors, we're being called to provide like the best care we can, do no harm to our patients. And I feel like that ties so well with like the kingdom mindset of like using the strength that God gives me to kind of strengthen those people in those moments as well. I think it's really good to kind of know that like I have a God who loves me so much. He's like planning out my life for me almost, and kind of guiding me along this path every step of the way so that I can like get to that end where I'll be the one like taking care of other people. And I think it's a long path. It's a long journey, but yeah, God's planned out every step. So just knowing that kind of helps me stay grounded and look towards like that end point.
On that note of, faith in the operating room, faith in the hospital as a medical student, doctor, is there any sort of verse or Bible verse that comes to mind when you think about those things?
Yeah, so this verse kind of came to me this past year, and I feel like it's really going to stick with me, and it's really guided me through the year, those tough moments. It's Romans 8, verse 18. It says, I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's really powerful. And I think it kind of speaks to like medical school or like medical training, in my opinion, because we are, making such a big sacrifice in like our lives and like our friendships, relationships. But I think that sacrifice is warranted. And I think the verse says like that sacrifice can't be compared to the greatness and the glory and the things that will come from it. That's just kind of been driving me these past few years.
Amen. I love that. That's a really strong one. I like that. So to sort of wrap up the thoughts and things that we've talked about here on this podcast, if I wanted to ask you, at the end of your career, what is something that you hope your patients remember about you?
I really hope that they just remember that I was the doctor that like advocated for them, who was on their side, made sure that I could get them the best care that they needed, and also have fun with it too, right? Because I don't want to be. I'd want to be remembered as at least a fun doctor, someone who can give like a good dad joke or two, or someone who could just make you smile at the end of the day, because that joy is something that got me into medicine. Just seeing what the joy that medicine can bring, or like caring for people can bring to them. So I'd want to hope that they remember that joy from me.
Yeah. Well, if all those things fail, they'll always remember you being probably the tallest doctor they've ever had. So you're sticking around in their minds.
The height never leaves,
one way or another, for sure. Awesome. I have another question that I just thought of. If you weren't in medical school and you weren't a doctor, what career do you think you would have pursued?
Oh, I definitely would pursue professional tennis.
I didn't expect that.
I'd pursue professional. Yeah.
Really?
Hey, you were thinking basketball, right? You were thinking I'd say basketball.
I was thinking, not really. I was thinking like engineering or something. Like,
okay.
You still got the brains. You're going to do something
like
that. Okay. So you code with the racket like that?
Oh, yeah. I play.
I didn't know that.
That's how I stay, sane in medical school.
Dang, that's what's up. Okay. Yeah. We got to play one of these days. I'm not good. We can play.
We gotta.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, that's going to conclude the podcast. Thank y'all so much for staying this long and listening with us on the interview with Deji Osidele, the 4th-year medical student. We hope that you enjoyed the podcast, and make sure that you're sharing with your friends and family and your loved ones, liking, subscribing, following. All of that really helps the podcast, and we appreciate all the positive feedback as well. Deji here is very active on social media as well. I know he's got his medical school account. So feel free to plug what you got going on in your medical school accounts.
You follow, you see my stuff?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure.
All right. Yeah. So I'm on TikTok at It's Deji. So ITSDAYJEE. And then on Instagram at It's Deji _MD2B. So that's MD number 2 letter B.
Okay, and I'll link it below in the description. So no fret if you didn't catch all of that.
Yeah.
But cool. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast, Deji. It was
Yeah.
really a great chat with you, and yeah, I hope that anyone who's a medical student or anyone in higher education can learn and glean something from this. I'm sure he'd be open to answering questions if you need to reach out, if you're looking to get into medical school or if you're in it now, or if you're higher above and you have, if you want to be a mentor, you offer some advice. I think that's something that he'd be open to as well. So feel free to connect with either of us if you feel your heart that you should do that. Yeah, that will conclude the episode. So you guys stay safe and stay kingdom minded.